Good afternoon, guys. What is going on? So it is Thursday. Actually a pretty decent day up until we just started videoing. It was actually sunny all day long. Fall is trying to come, but it's still about 80 degrees, but the leaves are changing. It's a great time of the year. So every time I take a day off, I feel like it's about a week in between, and I need to catch you guys up on a whole lot of stuff. There's a whole lot of truck updates going on. First and foremost, 4 days left for the WrenchWorks giveaway. We are giving away $1,000 cash and an air dog for your diesel truck, whatever that may be. So wrenchworks.com, every 20 bucks that you spend is one entry. Last thing I'm going to mention about that real quick is in that video, and if you guys watch these videos, if you guys ordered clothes, thank you guys so much for that. But I did mention that this is a pre-order. I'm actually placing the order tomorrow, which is Friday, the day that you're watching this, for the clothes. So they're going to be in, then they're going to take a little bit to get made, and all that stuff. So we're hoping to start shipping out the week of the 16th. It is still just a little bit away from shipping out your clothes, but you will get them, I promise you that. So that's that. That's a wrap. Anyway, next topic on the list here, I did call Calvert Racing because, as you guys know, we are waiting to put our new rear in. We still have some prep work to do, but we are waiting for the cowl tracks to come in before that can get fully bolted up. The bushings that they send us and everything, the rear suspension can't go back together until we have some of those pieces. So called them up. They are in California, and they actually just shipped out yesterday. So definitely not going to be here before the weekend, unfortunately. So we're just going to keep plugging away on the transmission side of things. We do still have quite a bit of work to do that. That's pretty much where we left off last time we spoke. Basically, all of the flex plate, the adapter plate, all that stuff is in there. The transmission is pretty much ready to go in, so we can start taking a look at our cross member piece and seeing what we're going to have to do there, seeing that we have quite a funky configuration, a 48 in a first gen, four-wheel drive housing, two-wheel drive truck, so it's going to be an odd combination. Next up on the list, we do have something that came in the P.O. box from one of you guys, so we're going to check that out later in the night. Another thing that I did forget to mention on the transmission that came out of this truck, the 05, the Triple Turbo Beast, the transmission fluid that came out of that, we were actually getting rid of that. We were dumping it into the 5-gallon pails so I can dispose of it. We did notice that there was quite the heavy silver metallic material in the bottom of that bucket. So with the new engine and everything else that's going to be coming, we do have some transmission changes that we're going to be doing, bringing that trans down to our man Muldoon's and changing some things up, doing some different things, and having him go through that again before obviously we plug another engine in here, and pretty much everything's going to pretty much start from scratch almost. So anyway, I believe that that is all of the updates that I want to give you guys before we get started working. So after reviewing some pictures, you guys know that I kind of noted that this little pinch weld body seam, whatever the heck you want to call it, right in this general area where these bolts are going to come through is going to be very, very tight once the angle of the engine goes back to where it should be. So I think what we're going to end up doing first, before we even try and get the transmission in here, is try and trim where the bolt is, kind of right here. I don't want to go too crazy far or over here, just a little bit, just to kind of clearance this a little bit to get the bolt in quite a bit easier. Looks like it's got a lot of room now, but the engine does not have that third cross member piece in, so as soon as that goes up like that, it's going to get very tight, according to the pictures that I saw anyway. So that's where we're going to start. I'll probably cover this so none of that gets all, however we're going to remove that material. Then hopefully, if all goes to plan, the transmission will be in some way, shape, or form at the end of tonight. So let's go. Also, last thing on our factory trans, we do have to take out our NPT to AN adapter pieces here. So we're going to take those out, throw them in the new transmission. This thing, by the way, I still have it. Somebody come get it. Come get it now, fast, quick, before it rains and I have to cover it up and it has to sit outside because I'm not putting it inside. So somebody come get it. Two-wheel drive, 518, 581, whatever the heck it is. Come get it. Finally done with the grinding. You can see where this used to connect up here. We just kind of trimmed that out. Definitely not the easiest, funnest with all this tunnel stuff in the way, but very smooth. Got that all smoothed out, smoother than what the factory stuff is. So didn't take any of this out. kind of left as much structure as possible. You don't want to, you know, completely get rid of that. So happy with that. So we will now have plenty of clearance when we get the transmission in there, get the bolts on, and go from there. So that was done. That was not the most fun thing in the world by any means. So I think what we're going to do now is we still have to tighten the starter bolts, get them all squared away. We'll get those done. And what we did on the inside here, I totally forgot that the transmission for the 05 was still on our trans jack. So me and AD quick undid that, got the new trans on here. So that is pretty much ready to go. We're gonna take off these factory style fittings and put our NPT to AN ones on there. And then I think we are pretty much ready to throw this Larry in here. Alright, so one quick side note that I do want to mention that might not be something that you know. This back port here, where that fitting threads in and threads out of, you can see how thin the actual wall is of the transmission case right here. And what a lot of people do, and it's been done before, and hence the whole reason why these fittings are actually kind of like this. It's kind of hard to see because there's snup on there. But you can see the end of this fitting is kind of flared out. It's got like a little shank extension on it. And that's actually for, this is actually considered, and BD makes these, and when they send them out too, I remember, they make them so when you screw these in, they actually seat against the backside of the thread here and don't rely on the threaded part, kind of like how you would see here on this fitting. Doesn't really have that compared to this. Because a lot of times, if people get crazy cranking these down, you'll actually crack this part of the case right here. So if you have that happen, I know these fittings are actually kind of like a repair fitting as well, because that backside will actually seal against the back here instead of relying on the threads sealing up. So if you are happening to change to, you know, an AN style or anything like that, you do have to be very careful of this backside because, like I said, this will actually crack here. So don't go crazy if you pop by the Sailor Man, you know, tightening those things down. Alrighty, so we just went over fittings once again, went over all of the full manual stuff just to make sure that was tight, everything is good there. Pretty much ready to put the trans in. For those of you guys who don't know and kind of wondering what this funky setup on here is, we are going to be running a full manual ratchet shifter valve body from Muldoon's diesel. I'll put the link somewhere in here. I'll try and go back and find the video where we kind of went over exactly how all this works with the shifter. It's really badass, let's put it that way. So, and that's pretty much it. We're ready to throw this guy in. We actually still didn't do the starter bolts. Actually, let's go do those now. Alrighty, got the transmission on outside. We're gonna sneak it underneath the frame right here, which me and Andrew actually already did, but funny thing is, there's no converter on the front of it. We forgot to put the converter, so I ended up snaking it back out of the way here. We're gonna grab the converter. I'm gonna tip it up like it would normally be, dump some transmission fluid in it. I usually don't put them in dry, and slide that bad boy on and be good to go. Alrighty guys, so as you saw when we were putting the torque converter on the input shaft, it may take a little bit of spinning action, but you definitely want to hear it kind of seat. This is the kind of depth that you're looking at for your adapter plate. Flex plate will pretty much bolt right up to those bolts, and away we go. Now we have to try and tilt it underneath the frame with the converter on so the converter doesn't, yeah, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. almost got her weaseled in there. As you can see, we're just a little slight adjustment off. You can see you want to make sure that you line up these dowels by hand. Don't ever, you know, force the bolts to line everything up. Just a quick couple adjustments and I think we will have her. Guys, let me show you where we're at for this evening out here. Had to bust out the work lights because failure is not an option. So, got the trans in, got all of the adapter plate bolts in. Not quite torqued, but definitely they are all in up top. The clearancing definitely made a big difference, and I apologize for the lack of light. I'll have to show you guys this all in the morning. We're just rolling around here on the creeper. Started throwing the cross member in, kind of seeing where we're at. It looks like, honestly, straight across might actually work. I got the 0305 48 mount on the trans from our 05, and you can kind of see that there. It's kind of a two-piece deal. Kind of hangs down quite a bit because it's a four-wheel drive, you know, tail housing. So got that mounted up, and I guess the biggest thing that, of course my phone is going off here, the biggest thing that we are running into is the fact that I don't have the rear end. It's not, oh, look at that, our light is smoking over there, probably frying some bugs. The problem is we don't have our rear end. It's not on the ground. I can't even see the pinion angle and the angle of where we need the trans to be. I'm only really guessing at this point. I have our degree angle finder on here. I do believe that the factory spec, if you look on like forums and the swap, look at it. Where were we? I believe 5 to 7 degrees is somewhere around factory spec. Maybe it's 0 to 2, maybe it's 0 to 3. I don't really know. Somebody who actually really knows can comment down below on what the actual degree is. But we don't know our pinion angle. We can't even really see that. That is where we're having a little bit of issues right now. That, and it's dark and I can't see anything really. So, but the trans is in, it's all bolted up. Still happy with the progress for this evening, with the lack of light and everything. So we're gonna figure out the cross member piece, maybe even temporarily, until we get the rear in. Now, like I mentioned earlier, the rear can't go in until we get our cow tracks, which we know is not going to be this weekend, which is the whole reason why, you know, delay here, delay there, delay here, delay there, really adds up on the delay category. So we're doing the best we can here, and who knows, maybe we'll have Russell the roadside repairman come over here and take a look and see what he thinks, seeing that he's fabbed up cross members on all those OBS Fords that he loves to work on so much. But that is where we're going to wrap up this video outside anyway. For the rest of it, we are headed in the garage. Alrighty guys, currently 9:30. I would have loved to get more done outside, but it happens. We went inside, we had a little bit of dinner, talked with the wife. We got a lot of things going on in the background. But of course, the traditional GREGA channel back with the rain again. So we got it covered. Got the rear axle covered. But like I mentioned, I did promise we have one package from the P.O. box that we are going to open. Of course, I crossed out your name, D. This box ripped right in the... Is that Studi? Anyway, this is from you. This is the P.O. box. Let's get to opening this package right now. Oh, by the way, can you hear that? That doesn't sound like can liquid. That sounds like, it does sound like another type of liquid. So there's definitely some liquid in here somewhere. What that liquid may be. Alright, there's a note. Greg, since you tried to GREGA delete your arm, I gotta put it on my face. Let's put it right here. Since you tried to GREGA delete your arm, I felt a duty to send you these items for the garage. As a seasoned paramedic, I admire your paper towel and electric tape bandage. I feel you need to proper equipped. I feel like you need to be proper equipped for emergencies. Allie, it is your wifely duty to make sure Greg keeps these next to the garage door for emergencies. Keep up the awesome work and videos. Wrenchworks is awesome. Your loyal 4th gen Cummins paramedic firefighter fan, Darren. And I apologize if I butcher your name. It's Studdy or Studi. Look at this. Look at these. Now this is a first aid kit. This is a first aid kit on steroids. Look at all this stuff. Oh my gosh. This is 2 big thumbs up. This is 2 big thumbs up because we barely have Band-Aids in our dang house. And I get injured quite often. All right, I was gonna say, what's the liquid? Sodium chloride. This must be like peroxide. Dude, this is good. This is good. I love you guys. This is why I love you guys. You guys are always on the ball. Oh man, this is cool. This is awesome. Thank you, man. Thank you, Darren. I appreciate that. Alrighty guys, like I mentioned, P.O. Box always down in the description of the video. So we have a special video for tomorrow. Stay tuned for tomorrow's video. I wish it was Rudy's. I wish it was Rudy's. I promise. Next year, we are going to get better at scheduling events and planning them and leave dates. And it's hard to do on a whim because you have to ask off for work and all of that stuff. So it's a little hard to do. Next year, we're going to be at a lot of events all over the country. I can promise you that. I will make sure of that. So right now, what we're doing is actually messing with some of my friends that are at Rudy's, saying that I'm there. I see you. I see where you're at, because they're probably out having dinner or whatnot, and I'm not there, but they're probably looking around like a bunch of idiots. So we're definitely messing with them. So that is what we're doing right now. Like I said, tomorrow's video, we're going somewhere special. We're going someplace cool. You're gonna love it. Gonna be a lot of different things tomorrow. We're gonna take a break from the garage videos, take a break from the 1st gen. Dang thing. Wish it was just done so we could do burnouts, but. Anyway, made some good progress tonight. I wish it was more, but that's all we can do for tonight. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much. Hit that like button before you leave. Subscribe if you have not already. Make sure you get entered in the Wrenchworks giveaway. We only got a couple days left, and then it's gone. We will still have clothes after that, but you don't have a chance to win cash and an air dog. So get entered now. Thank you, guys. See ya. Bye. Tomorrow. See ya.